Two of tennis's most appealing, most athletic stars take center stage tonight. The Tour Championship title on the line. It's next on ESPN2. This place has seen some drama. It's the home of the Lakers, the Clippers, the Kings, and the Sparks. We're at the Staples Center for the year-ending WTA Tour Championship presented by Porsche. Serena Williams of the USA. Maria Sharapova lives in Florida, but she is from Russia. And a very friendly hello to everybody. I'm Cliff Drysdale. This ends the year right here tonight, and there is $1 million at stake. It has been a wild year overall for women's tennis. Let's just recap the year for you. First of all, 4 different slam winners, 3 of them Russians. So talk about the rise of the Russians. Sharapova, Niskina, Kuznetsova, all Grand Slam champions. Dementieva, she was in a final of 2. Where the Belgians, Innen and Clijsters, both out. They dominated a year ago, out with injury and illness. So the race this year was won by American Lindsay Davenport over Emily Morozova, who was number 2, and that happened right here in LA. Neither one of them won a slam. Lindsay Davenport, congratulations to you, so ends up at number 1. It has been a very fascinating year by any definition for women's tennis, Pam.
Well, Cliff, it's been an amazing 3 years. The last 3 years, women's tennis has either been dominated by a household or a country. 3 years ago, the Williams sisters dominated, then the Belgians last year, and this year, the Russians took over women's tennis from the French Open. And Mary Jo, this should bode well for 2005.
It should. I mean, the big question is, can the top players stay healthy? If they can, it's going to be the best year ever in women's tennis. Can you imagine if you had the Belgians healthy, Venus Williams, Jennifer Capriati? We now have a very confident number 1, Lindsay Davenport. Morozova playing the best tennis of her career. The Russians with Maria Sharapova leading the way. A recommitted Serena Williams. We got rivalries. We have many possibilities, Cliff, and I'm hoping to see the best year ever in women's tennis next year.
Yeah, you know, we may debate what was the biggest surprise of all this year, but certainly one of them was the 17-year-old from Russia. Nobody expected to win the great Wimbledon championships on the grass.
It was really extraordinary. At 17 years of age, Sharapova is walking out against a 2-time champion, Serena Williams. And Mary Jo, she started off this match, dominated Williams.
It was incredible. Maria Sharapova playing in only her 2nd Wimbledon came out in this final with so much belief, so much confidence. She never doubted for a second that she could win this match. Serena made a bit of a comeback in the 2nd set, but Maria Sharapova found a way to close out the match beautifully on serve. 6-1, 6-4, a very emotional win. This is a dream come true for the 17-year-old who came to the States at a very early age, made a lot of sacrifices with her father, and it's just been an overnight sensation since then. She plays the pressure points well, she hits the ball hard, and she's so much fun to watch.
Well, she had a tough time after that Wimbledon win, getting used to wearing that crown, something that Serena Williams did so well when she started winning all her majors a couple of years ago. But Serena Williams, a 2-time champion at Wimbledon this year, was asked about the final in 2004 against Sharapova.
I can't reflect back, I'm sorry. I don't believe I played the Wimbledon final. I don't know who it was, but I wasn't at Wimbledon this year.
Well, Serena better be at this final tonight. Wimbledon was a wake-up call for Serena because Maria Sharapova is the real deal. And I expect the first set will be very important because both players are tired. They're going to have to serve well and execute their shots.
Serena particularly has had a tough time getting here. She's played 3 of her 4 matches in 3 sets. She's played the number 1, 2, and 3 player in the world. But let's face it, tonight, Mary Jo, they're playing for $1 million. Cliffy.
You know, we have seen a lot of things in tennis. We've seen 1 slam wonders. One thing I can guarantee you about Maria Sharapova from what we've seen this week, she's not going to be a 1 slam wonder. This is the championship match. It's Serena Williams of the USA against the Wimbledon champion, Maria Sharapova, still just a teenager. Live next year on ESPN2. Knows how to throw a party. They know how to get these people juiced and jacked up, and They can see some of the action on that giant screen above this tennis court. It is Maria Sharapova in the championship match. She took out 3 Russian pretenders on the way to getting to this championship final. She has really proven that she is not just a one-slam wonder.
Well, it's so much fun because this year-end final match, one, you want it to be a dramatic, exciting, charismatic match, which it is, and the crowd's getting into it. The last 2 days at Staples Center has been fantastic. The 17-year-old, just 6 foot tall. Is she still growing, Mary Jo?
She might be. She grew a lot last year. Has a fantastic match record with 4 titles, including that big Wimbledon title. She's currently ranked number 6. If she wins tonight, she moves up to number 4. So an amazing rise this year for Maria Sharapova.
She, of course, did not qualify for this championship last year. This is her first ever championship year-end final, and to be playing in the last match of the week is truly exceptional. But, of course, you don't win Wimbledon in 17 unless you are exceptional.
Serena Williams spent so much of her formative years here in Compton, California, in the environs of Los Angeles. So this for her is home. It's become home as well for her because she's spending so much time in Hollywood. She's from Palm Beach Gardens in Florida. And the 6-time slam winner is trying to win another year-ending championship.
And at the beginning of the week, she said that despite being near Hollywood in LA, that she was going to be so focused on her week. She wants to end 04 with an exclamation point, get ready to have a better year in 05. And boy, has she shown a lot of guts on the court this week.
She's had to come back a couple times. Her first match came back against Meskina from a 7-3 love 2 breaks. Yesterday against Maresmo, a set and 3-1. She has really shown a lot of guts. She hasn't played her best tennis until the last couple of days, but I think now she's more confident. She's a little bit fatigued. Her arm's been bothering her a little bit, but she's playing through it. And she won this championship on her first try, in her first appearance. So a little similarity with Maria Sharapova playing in her first championship final too.
Obviously a huge match for both of them. Here is Serena Williams talking about this young 17-year-old's game.
Kind of like my sister. She's long and tall. She's like 6'3", and she just gets every ball back. Well, with her reach, so it's interesting. But it's fun. I'm really happy for her.
Gets every ball back? That sounds like a European clay court. She gets every ball back and whacks it.
I guess really she was talking about she can reach every ball. She certainly isn't known, Sharapova, for getting every ball back, but she's done a great job this week with her aggression and consistency.
First point. Very mature tournament overall for Maria Sharapova from the start. The only match that she lost is a match that she didn't need to win to qualify for the semi-final.
Straight sets lost to Maresmo. Two straight serves to the forehand, 2 straight missed returns. 3 Russians and Maresmo were her opponents.
Should mention that she had losing head-to-heads with all 3 Russians that she played.
Reasons is that she has that belief in herself, Sharapova, even if she hasn't beaten someone. Every time she steps on the court, as you see Michael Joyce on the left and Yuri, her dad, and her coach watching on, she comes out and plays every single point like a big point.
Here is Sharapova talking about Serena Williams' game.
She would want to have better results this season, end of the season, and I think, you know, she's very hungry, and you know, she fought back in her first match, so that shows her toughness, and physically she's very strong. She's serving quite well, so you know, hopefully I can serve well too.
It takes hunger to recognize hunger. Sharapova has had a lot of desire and hunger this year, and I think late in the year now, Serena also. By the way, 4 for 4, first serves in, held to love. What an opening service statement by Sharapova. Joe, after 5 points, it reminds me of Wimbledon already.
Very true. Sharapova got off to such a quick start, really taking it to Serena. She was the one pressuring her with the returns, with the serve. It's important for Serena to play a solid service game right here. Get rid of some of her butterflies. Always tough when you've had a loss.
Richard Williams is Serena's dad, and he's been photographing this every one of her matches.
Saw Serena's mom, Oracene Price, for the first time in the arena, just walking in just before the final.
Point for Serena. Richard, by the way, before the match, he's out there in the parking lot. He's leaning against a car, you know, he's doing his own thing. He's not in there in the suites blowing smoke at some executive. It's amazing. He's so laid back.
He's become more laid back, that's for sure.
One apiece in the first set. The Sharapova story is pretty well known now since she won Wimbledon. Born in Siberia, family left to escape the Chernobyl nuclear disaster. At the age of 7, she and her dad Yuri left Russia for America. He had $700 in his pocket. Enrolled at the Bollettieri Academy in Florida. They had to pay for the first couple of years, but then she was recognized as a huge potential champion and got a free ride after that. Her mom, for a couple of years, could not join them. Yelena, they are all back in, at least they're all, he's here, she's still in Florida.
She gets very nervous. Yelena doesn't like to come to the tournaments. She actually watched for the first time on TV yesterday. She toughed it out.
And wasn't she on a flight the day of the Wimbledon final? Yep. But it was an airline that has direct TV or something, and she got to watch it in the air. I think that's what I read.
She plays with this fearlessness of youth. It's amazing because she has been through some seriously important matches.
7 for 7. First serves in. 7 straight points on serve. Oof, what a start. First miss. Forgot how to hit a second serve.
First time. Had to do it. She'll gamble on her second serve, Sharapova. She goes up and after it.
Sharapova holds again relatively easily. It is 2 games to 1. Sharapova, we're on serve. It's nighttime in LA. It's about 7:20 p.m. here on the West Coast. Serena. Williams underwent surgery to repair a partial tear on her left knee quadricep in August 2003. And it didn't come back until Miami this year in the spring, which she won. Beat Sharapova in the round of 16 there.
Solid hitting from Sharapova. Double-handed backhands her best shot, her safe shot. The forehand's the one that's been producing the winners though throughout this championship.
think it was 39 winners off the forehand against Kuznetsova.
She had 18 yesterday against Meskina.
Yeah, so far Serena's forehand is struggling. Started off with missing a couple of returns, and on the baseline rallies we've noticed all week that at times the forehand's pretty solid and other times erratic. Starting off this match erratic.
Second unforced error of the match for Sharapova. She's come out playing very solidly from the start.
It's a huge return from Sharapova. Serena barely able to get over there and bump it over the net. Surprised Sharapova.
Saves a couple of break points. It's deuce.
These two have such similar mentalities. They're really out to get the first strike in a rally, try to get that first big serve in. Comes down to execution.
123, that's a fault, but that ties, that is the fastest serve of the week that Serena set earlier.
It just amazes me how hard these players hit the ball consistently, that they can control this amount of pace time after time.
Escaped the trap there, and it's 2 apiece in the first set. Mentioned that Serena Williams had her knee surgery. Before her knee surgery, she won the Australian Open that year, that's 2003, to win her 4th straight Grand Slam singles title, joining Maureen Connolly, Margaret Court, Martina Navratilova, that is Steffi Graf. The only ones in history, but the thing is, you go out for 8 months, it's amazing how tough it is to come back. She won her first tournament, but only one other tournament since then. It speaks to the depth of women's tennis.
And Cliff, I think by winning that first tournament after being out for so long, everybody expected that she was going to pick up where she left off, that she was going to continue to dominate, and it wasn't the case.
Why?
Part of it was because she still suffered a little bit from soreness in her knee, the one that was operated on, and confidence. The players did get better during her layoff. They got more confident. They lost that intimidation factor, which is huge.
Also, right after that hard court win in Miami, the toughest part of the season for Serena is the clay court season. She was faced with playing all that tough tennis on her worst surface. Two-handed forehand. We've seen Sharapova with some one-handed, left-handed forehands. Now we've seen Serena with a two-handed forehand return. Seen a bit of everything this week.
Sharapova has started so strong on her own serve. She's been just unstoppable. She had a chance to break in the last. Williams will serve semifinals yesterday, down to 2. $114-mile-an-hour race.
Seemed faster. Not that 114's not fast. Sharapova, though, is the one serving so far in the match. Just lost 1.3 service games.
stuff, in spite of the fact that he's got very little upper body rotation as she moves into that serve. There's a lot of arm on that serve, but very good serving there. 116.
Her third ace. Actually 7 aces so far in the match.
Three games apiece, Tennis Masters Cup, starting immediately following this match here on ESPN2, and we'll be there for the duration, the championship match there on Sunday. Roger Federer, obviously, he's the man who's favored to win. He's won 3 Grand Slams this year.
What time's your flight in the morning? Early?
Yes.
15 more.
Sharapova is coached by Robert Lansdorf, and he has been her coach for 6 years. He says in due time she will win them all, talking about slams. I think the French will probably be the last one she'll win.
She reached the quarters this year, surprising a lot of us.
He says she has to grow into her body even more, get stronger, quicker, more endurance, and that doesn't happen overnight. She's 17.
15
That's the most exciting thing about Maria Sharapova. She still has so much room for improvement. Still very young. Experience is going to help her. She can get stronger, especially in her upper body. We saw her experiment a little bit, Pam, a couple matches ago, serving and volleying, hitting some drop shots, coming to net. That's all going to benefit her in the future.
Yeah, one of the most aggressive 17-year-old major winners in women's tennis history. Tracy Austin there won a U.S. Open in 79 and again in 81. She was the youngest winner of the U.S. Open at 16.
Also coached by Robert Lansdorf's mother.
Yes. She was blocked there by her husband Scott very nicely. They have 3 boys. They live nearby, Palos Verdes.
Chance to break for Williams here. Her first chance of the match.
Serve had been going so well for Sharapova, and suddenly this hiccup. She fights off break points fairly well.
Tracy Austin was runner-up in her first tour championship back in '79. You've got a few others who in their first appearance reached the final. Jaeger, Davenport, Martina Hingis, Serena, who won it in 2001.
That was played in Munich.
During that Munich week, although she didn't end up the year #1, in spite of the fact of winning the year-ending championship, she said, next year I'm going to go for it, become #1. She did.
She did a lot more than that. I mean, she was extraordinary in '02. Winning the French, Wimbledon, and the U.S.
So they both escaped just a little trap. On serve, no breaks yet in this championship match for 3. Sharapova. Serena Williams serving on serve here, 3-4. The championship match of the WTA Tour Championship. 3-4 first set. Drysdale, Van Trava, Mary Jo Fernandez. This is a match in which the winner will take home $1 million. 15 love.
Serena Starting to serve very well. She's not holding back at all on the service motion. We saw a couple matches where she eased into it because of the arm strain. She knows she just can't guide these serves in because Sharapova loves to just punish them.
Well, there's a point she's dropped on serve. First one in 10 points. She was down 2 break points in her second service game, 15-40, and then went on a tear on serve until that winning return. A different return, forced to go with a firm two-handed slice return. Both players terrific with their first serve wins. Sharapova's just dropped 2 points, 13 of 15.
Very solid from both of them. 4 apiece.
It's great tennis. They're forcing each other to come up with some pretty big shots. Sharapova moving in, stutter steps there, didn't get in close enough. Great composure by Serena, staying low on that forehand.
Sharapova certainly has a few more opportunities to come to net. She's taking them. She's been to net 5 times. Serena just once. We saw Serena at times during this championship really do some great work at crucial moments from the net position.
It seemed like she came in more when she was down. When she was losing in matches, she took more chances and, yes, finished off a lot of points at the net.
Sharapova is a huge hitter of the ball. She is trying to add more variety to her game, and we've seen some of that this week.
Nowadays in women's tennis, it's not good enough just to have an offensive game or just a defensive game. You have to have both. And Maria has worked really hard on her movement. She's tracking a lot more balls down now than she was in the beginning of the year.
At the beginning of the year, she looked like a 16-year-old, almost 17-year-old, not yet used to her arms and legs. Now she just looks so much more agile and together when she moves. This one's always been together. On her first major, Serena Williams, the '99 U.S. Open against Hingis. Covered court beautifully during that U.S. Open. Such a raw player then.
That is long, and the point goes to Williams. It's deuce at 4-4 first set.
Alexander DeJankin pretty firm and quick with that overroll. 30 love this game. Looked like it's going to be another pretty easy hold. By far the biggest point of this first set. 4-all deuce.
That goes long, and here's a chance, the second chance of the set for Serena to break.
Williams.
Double fault. Gives Serena Williams the breaker serve. Serena will serve for the first set. We come back live to the Staples Center in LA. Serving for the first set, 5-4.
Controlled and constructive point from Serena, mostly on the forehand side.
A change of pace there, wasn't there?
Put a lot of spin on it.
More topspin for safety, but I like that she's close to that baseline. She's the one pushing Maria back right now.
You know, it's the same service lines judge yesterday who people could not hear make calls. Same thing today. People get fooled in this big arena.
Dirty love, 2 points from the first set. Williams.
I would have told her, okay, for the final, let them hear you.
That's huge. 100 and what is that, 18? 118 mile an hour. Winner and 3 set points for Williams. Sharapova saves 1. Serena Williams in this championship match at the year-ending event for women's tennis at the Staples Center has won the first set. Set 2 underway. First set to Serena, 6-4, 1 break.
So the difference between the first set of Wimbledon and the first set tonight, Serena certainly raised her level, and Maria perhaps down just a fraction.
Again, I think those first few games were critical for Serena to hold on to her serve. I think that's given her the confidence, and it was just a few points that made the difference in that first set.
Fourth game of the set, Serena came back for a 15-40 down. Went on a string of 9 straight points on serve.
Maria's only won 4 matches this year, 1 dropping the first set.
Oh,
Big forehand. One of those matches came yesterday against Messina. Trying the serve and volley. Little hesitation from Sharapova, and Serena just blasts it up the middle of the court. Smart play.
Really was a hesitation there, because we saw earlier in the week Sharapova, when she served and volleyed, she got in right on top.
Terrific. Wow. Really terrific from both of them. 30-all.
Sharapova not only blasts the ball in the middle of this rally, she hit an angle to open up the court. And then hit that big forehand. There's the angle. And then just takes a full swing on this forehand on the run. Knows she has to go for it.
Flattened it out.
Missed that return, and it's game point for Sharapova.
You have to love the fact that Sharapova is willing to serve and volley against Serena Williams. She's got the confidence and the belief against a player who returns so well.
Heck, if you have the confidence and the belief to go out in your first major final and beat Serena 4-1 at Wimbledon, serving and volleying seems like probably nothing.
Well, you're watching the best in women's tennis here as Sharapova wins the first game of the second set, getting tonight the top 8 men's tennis players in the world, including Andy Roddick and Roger Federer, meet in the season-ending ATP Masters Cup from Houston, the Westside Tennis Club. Our coverage begins right after our championship match here on ESPN2. Today's match featuring Roger Federer, won 3 slams against the man who won the French. The other one, that's Gaston Gaudio,
who pushed out Andre Agassi, because Gaudio did win a major, but he didn't finish actually in the top 8 for points. Agassi finished 8th.
Yeah, but if you win a slam, you get in as long as you're in the top 20. 15-love Williams down 1 game in the second, up a set.
I think it ought to be like the NCAA, where they have a play-in match. I think Gaudio and Agassi should have played in for the 8th spot.
That's just because you want Agassi in.
Right.
Thinking of Mattress Max.
You think you wanted Agassi in there?
No.
Yeah. Hello.
30-love. Serena Williams is tennis's most charismatic star on the women's side, and she knows how to get the headlines too. Yesterday, she appeared in a T-shirt which said "I love me" on it during the post-match interview. She was asked about it. She says, "I love me. I love everything about me. I love my legs, my arms. I love my lips, my eyes."
It's a love fest.
Then she says, "I think it's important for everyone to love themselves," as she holds on, 1 apiece in the second.
And it's also important to love our Dubai duty-free match summary. Winners just about even. Sharapova leads in unforced errors, and the all-important 1 break of serve went to Serena Williams. You've got to love 1 break of serve.
Very close. Just a couple points decided that first set.
We're seeing Price and Jill Smoller on the left. Serena's agent looks after opportunities both on the court and also in Hollywood. Everyone in tennis wants to see that part quiet, though.
That's her. That net is not her friend yet, to the extent that she wants. For Sharapova, it's dangerous for her to try to serve and volley, because this court is not quick. This is not Wimbledon. It's not that quick.
3 of 7 when she ventures forward, Sharapova. But the only way for Sharapova to get better is to start practicing it in her matches. Start doing it.
Oh,
it's huge.
Line drive. At a ½ inch above the net the entire time. What a rope, frozen.
By the way, those "I love myself" words were quoted in the front page of the sports section of the LA Times this morning. So.
She's got good self-esteem. I like that.
That's probably why she's won 6 Grand Slam titles in the Serena Slam.
Which is?
She won the French, Wimbledon, U.S. in 2002 and the Australian in 2003, holding all 4 at the same time, but not in the same calendar year. Did I pass the test?
You sure did.
She's got a break point. Good hustle, good effort by Serena, not quite good enough, and Sharapova saves 1.
She actually had the time and had the open court if there would have been a heck of a cross-court pass.
Oh, that's a terrific clean winner from the way behind the baseline. Deuce.
At that point, there's nothing that spectacular, but it was a great first serve. The return, I thought, given the serve, was tremendous as well. And off her back foot, falling backwards, is able to hit an off forehand winner. It was only 3 strikes in the point, but it was all high quality.
Well, you're watching 2 players that can hit a winner from anywhere on the court. Very impressive. Takes this return so early. I mean, this was the automatic return for Serena when she won her Serena Slam. You served her out wide, and it was just pounced on cross court for a winner.
I think this first set, first couple games here, her attitude and her play reminds me of that year more than anything else this year.
Double fault called on that serve of Sharapova, so twice now she has lost her serve on a double fault. We'll come back to
big asset in the past, but boy, this year she's a different player. Look at this.
But now you're looking at the dominant player for 2000.
So, of course, Serena Williams at the U.S. Open beating sister Venus again, giving her the 3rd leg of the Serena Slam, and then the Australian Open gave her the 4th again over Venus every step of the way, which was a bruising 12 months for Venus Williams.
Well, it was incredible that Venus reached every single final. There was only one player better, and that was her little sister. They dominated those 12 months of tennis.
Serena wins the first point of this game, 15-love to Williams. She's got the break in the second set. First set, 6-4 to Serena.
They were winning the doubles as well whenever they played.
Venus was here earlier in the week doing some promotional stuff. She was the alternate along with Capriati, but I think they both split town before they had a chance to be an alternate.
Speaking of promotional stuff, Serena has a charity tour that she's just about to embark on after this, isn't she?
That's right. The McDonald's Williams tour. She plays Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday in Chicago, Thursday in Detroit, and then in Atlanta on December 2nd against Venus. And they're going to be making stops to visit hospitals, schools, do some speaking, trying to get tennis in the cities where they don't see it during the year.
And we saw Oracene Price earlier. She has her Al Foundation event next weekend in Lexington, Kentucky. They raise money for the Moms Foundation.
Meanwhile, Williams in trouble on this serve game. 2 break points for Sharapova to get back on serve in the second.
Proceeds from their tour are going to the Ronald McDonald charities.
That is a little glance there from Sharapova toward Williams as if to see what her reaction is to having just lost her serve for the first time in the match. First set Williams 6-4 and then a 2-1 lead. Now Sharapova has just closed that lead in the second. Sharapova lost the first set to Miskina in the semis. Won the next two pretty handily. And correct me if I'm wrong, but she seems to react pretty well to different styles of play against her. I mean, you took a look at Maresmo, for example, is a very different kind of play. Miskina is sort of different. Then the big hitting Kuznetsova.
I think she really worries about herself, Sharapova. Worries about her first serve, then trying to get that first strike in a rally, regardless of what kind of style she's facing on the other side of the court.
15 all.
It's great when you have the game that other players have to worry about you. And that's the case the majority of the time. Now, when these two play against each other, it really comes down to who can execute first.
Oh, that's why. You're watching live coverage from the Staples Center in LA, everybody, of the year-ending championship, and this is the championship match. Monday night live coverage of this final, in which Serena Williams has got the first set, 6-4, 1 break. Second set, they have traded breaks. It's 2 apiece. Sharapova serving at 40-15. Cliff Drysdale, Pam Shriver, Mary Jo Fernandez.
That was a cool last rally, by the way.
Sharapova holds 2 in a row for her, including a break, so she's in front on serve. Williams will serve and come down to Los Angeles. The Staples Center, everybody, we're in LA. This is the championship match. Serena Williams serving here on serve in the second now. She was broken last time she served, trailing 2-3. Serena Williams won the first 6-4, taking Maria Sharapova.
High percentage of first serve points won. Only serving 50%.
Dropped a little bit since the first set.
Yeah, that forehand's just too vanilla. You know, Sharapova's waiting for one at that length. First real Serena Williams lull in the match for her. Gotta wonder if she's a little bit tired, needs to get a little shot of adrenaline.
Too tough. That's out of reach.
And she did it with finesse, really, both the last 2 shots on the forehand. The angle cross court. Well, this backhand, she does run around to hit the forehand. And then the forehand's nicely spun up the line. Ooh, that would have been the record for the week, but it was a fault. 125.
Juicing up the forehand side from Sharapova. Her agent says that her story could well be a movie. When they, father and daughter, moved to the United States, they were supposed to be met by a friend who who never showed up at the airport in Miami. They spoke no English, $700 to their name. Take 5 different buses to Bradenton, where they end up at Bollettieri's place. He takes odd jobs for her tuition at Bollettieri's. She lives in dorms with older girls. Deuce in this game, and she had a chance to break there. Girls that she says were twice her age and made her life miserable.
Uh-oh. Well, this is the town to sell the movie.
Learned English in 4 months.
Now, that said 129. It was a fault, but that's the highest number I've ever seen. A fault or not on the women's side.
Double fault gives Sharapova her second chance.
Brett Ratner, Serena Williams' boyfriend, a big-time movie producer.
Richard's working on his movie.
Just directed a new movie, After the Sunset. Pierce Brosnan, my favorite, by the way.
That is wide, and there's a second straight breaker serve for Sharapova. A second straight. She's got a 4-2 lead. She was down 2 games to love.
And let's face it, coming into this match, we want to see 3 sets. We want to see 1 set in the last match of the year to decide the WTA Tour Championships. Sharapova 2 games away, 2 service holds away from making that happen. Serena is used to 3-set matches. She only had 1 straight set win. That was over Demencheva, and that was a tough straight setter versus 3 sets. A lot of young players rush between points, not Sharapova.
It's very methodical. She likes her rituals and her routine. If you watch her, she does the same thing between points every time.
Such high voltage tennis, and as you look at these points, look how close this ball goes, A, over the net, and B, to the lines. It's high risk stuff, but they are so good at it, both of them. 15 all.
So interesting, because what looks high risks for us, for them, it's how they practice, it's how they play.
Serena trying to get the break back. Williams has really struggled this set on serve. Serving only 35% first serves in, going for the big serve too much, where I feel like Sharapova's little higher service percentage is doing her well.
A low ball, she's able to get down to and pull over the net and still get it down on the other side with some spin. It's an extraordinary capability that she has.
Like that second serve at 30-all made Serena really reach on the backhand side.
That sails, and Serena Williams got a break point again.
So mature for 17. You don't usually see Sharapova such a big point with a very routine miss off a ball where she really wasn't pressured.
This is great execution by both players. On a break point down, takes the ball so early, changes the direction.
Anytime Serena returns in the middle of the court, she's in deep trouble. So you try for a little more, and you miss more.
Extraordinary play from both players. Maria Sharapova has now won 4 straight games. She was down 2-5. She's 1 game away from leveling this match in the final.
So hard from the very first point, which she hasn't been doing because of the arm.
But it was just a couple of games ago where she served one down at 129 that was a fault, 125 that was a fault. She was starting to go for so much and lose some control. I just wonder if it was on one of those serves. She really tried to give it an extra bit of zip where she strained it.
She's played so much tennis this week. Every match went to 3 sets except one, which was the one against Demencheva, 7-6, 7-5. And since the U.S. Open, she only played 2 tournaments coming into this championship, winning one and losing first round the other one.
Should not be hurt too much. There is what Mary Jo is talking about. Look at all those 3-set matches. The 1 straight sets was 7-6, 7-5. In the 2-6-4 in the third, she was down a set and 3 love against Mosquina and a set and 3-1 against Maresmo yesterday.
That post serve was no hit. That was just a guide into the court. So something is ailing her. This is what we saw in the early stages of that match you were talking about.
And when Serena was out with a knee injury, her sister Venus was out for 7 months with an abdominal strain, which is what's going on here. Mary Jo, you made an off-air prediction before the match that Serena might not finish.
Well, I just thought she was so fatigued from all her matches. She told us her arm was hurting her a lot. And now, on top of the arm, to have an abdominal strain, I mean, she will not be able to win this match serving like this. set point.
And Sharapova, you know, it's sometimes difficult to play against someone who's not serving or playing at full speed. But for Sharapova, she is just decimated that Williams serve, and we are at 1 set apiece. The question now becomes whether Serena Williams can get her body together in set 3. That was 5 straight games. Davenport. Then beat Emily Mauresmo, the number 2 player in the world, in the semis yesterday.
And that was one of the most entertaining matches of the year in women's tennis. Not always easy playing against an injured player. If anyone can handle it, it's Sharapova. Mentally very tough.
Well, they become dangerous because they start going for more. They want the points to be a little shorter. And if anybody can hit winners right away, it's Serena Williams.
Yeah, she's not going to waste any time. It's like if the first strike doesn't do it, the second will.
Well, and she's got to break serve a lot. Let's face it. I mean, if her serve the rest of the match is going to be in the 70s and 80s because of the abdominal strain, then she had better break serve at least every other time.
Break point. Serena Williams wins the first game on a break of serve in the 3rd set.
Well, this tournament started off with round-robin format, and then comes Sunday and Monday, a regular tournament of 4 semifinals, and today the finals. Here's your Porsche bracket summary.
Well, we had 5 Russians to begin this championship. 2 went on to the semifinals. Sharapova getting through that to the final today against Serena, who came back from a set and 3-1 versus Mauresmo.
This crowd is all for Serena right now. Maybe not all, but a lot of it. This is where she was raised.
This is a tough moment for Sharapova. What do? Do you go for first strike yourself?
She has to. She's got to know that Serena's going to go for even more than she normally does.
That's right on it.
I mean, right now, Serena's not feeling the pressure. She's hurt. She says, I'm going to go for broke off the first opportunity I get.
She's won the first 6 points of this set. Oh, wow.
Another clean winner.
Be worried and be worried with the injured athlete. You can see Sharapova's concentration is a little bit shot at the moment.
And Williams holds.
This is wild.
Well, there's nothing more frustrating than seeing an opponent on the other end hurt and coming off hitting great shots.
You're watching live coverage of the WTA Tour Championships championship match. Serena Williams and Maria Sharapova. First set to Williams, second to Sharapova. 2-love to Williams now, and injured Serena Williams. And a confused Maria Sharapova.
There's Jackie Long, good friend of Serena Williams, who's an actor, and occasionally during change events he entertains this crowd with quite a dance that gets people pretty excited.
The attempted serve volley doesn't work, and how many points is that in a row? Has she won a point in the set yet?
No.
0.
So. No.
So it's been 8, 9, 10 points in a row
And
Serena.
She just looked over to her corner and with her right hand on her shoulder and motioned a little bit.
Between the first and second serve. Thank you.
That's 11 straight points, 3 break points for Williams. First point of the set for Sharapova. That sails. And again, Sharapova's only won 1 point in this third set. 2 breaks, 3 games to love. Williams will serve. Winner from Williams. Sharapova is known to. Serena's just not missing a thing, and during the changeover she was attended to again. You can see her being taped up there. Support for her. This is during the changeover. Meanwhile, during that same time, here's Sharapova. She's saying, look what I got to do. I got to hit the ball. I got to finish it.
She's mentally more injured.
15 all. 30-15. Nothing wrong with that one.
She's not missing too many first serves.
Not missing too much of anything.
Of anything. She should pretend she has an injury more often.
No way.
Now that is frustrating for Maria Sharapova.
Well, it starts to put her down in, like, how injured are you if you can reach up and hit aces? But that's nowhere near her fastball. She's doing it with change-ups.
Game to Williams, 4 games to love. It's hard to imagine how Sharapova can come back from this insurance breaker serve with Williams just 2 games away from this championship.
Third set's been 12 minutes, 4 games, and the one who looked like she might not play a third set hardly is losing a point in the third.
Only 2.
It's showing a little bit of the inexperience of Sharapova.
Just going to say, Pam, I wonder if she's ever been in this position before.
Well, not in such a big match. I mean, let's have
I mean, in any match, really.
Probably, but not in such a moment. I mean, the amount of injury timeouts in tennis these days, I would assume in her first few years she's probably faced this one a couple times. But not in this kind of drama.
You know, Mary Jo, you said earlier that this is the kind of tennis that Serena Williams played when she was the top player in the world, when she was really going for broke and hitting so many winners. I wonder if this may bring back some memories for her. And we might see a change in strategic play from her next year.
There's nothing much you can do when Serena's playing like this. I mean,
Exactly.
I'm trying to think of what Maria could have done differently in these first 4 games. Not a lot.
No.
Serena might win this 3rd set easily, but I have a feeling there's going to be another wrinkle in this thing. I mean, we just had, before this, 4 straight games to Serena. We had 5 straight to Sharapova, and then the injury on top of that to Serena.
The Wimbledon champion is on the board in the 3rd set. She's still down 2 breaks of serve for 1 Williams.
Because the serve is not the same for Serena right now.
She's slapping it in. That's one thing. Sharapova made a good return there, but if she doesn't have a real good return, then Serena's going for first strike on the 2nd ball.
Such an interesting war in between the ears right now.
Yep.
Serena trying to adjust without the serve, hitting the ground strokes better because she knows she has to. And Sharapova knows that she's got more opportunity to climb on top with a weaker serve, and that she's playing against an injured opponent. She's only won 1 game this set.
Didn't like the call. Not going to get an overrule.
15-30. Defense from Serena.
And to do it at 15-30 in the 3rd set. She needs to keep both breaks.
Great effort, just getting this ball back, making Sharapova hit the extra shot.
Point for Sharapova.
Get more nervous closing out a big match when you're injured. You know you don't have all your guns.
For Sharapova to hold it together, playing against somebody who's injured but isn't missing anything, is a tremendous achievement. Whether she's going to be able to get another break, we'll find out for 2 Williams in the 3rd.
Sharapova doing the same thing Serena's been doing to start off her service games. Doing a mock service toss.
Double fault. opportunity for Serena. About 15.
Sharapova attacking the short ball immediately. That's what she has to do. Get those first serves in and just take charge.
She's got spirit.
She's made the adjustment in her head that she's playing an injured Serena Williams. She's back to business.
Game point.
Next presence.
Maria Sharapova has now won 3 in a row, and the next few moments are going to decide who wins this year-ending championships. Sharapova, interesting, compelling, and very, very good tennis. 4-3. Williams with a break now, third set. Sharapova trying to win her 4th straight game.
After Serena had won 4 straight, and before that, Sharapova 5 straight. This has been a bizarre series of games.
You called it, though, Pam. You said there'd be another wrinkle. It's a big one.
You just don't see 75-mile-an-hour serves from Serena. You might from Demencheva.
Oh, that is a serious gift from Serena. Obviously in pain, obviously hurting. A huge moment this calendar year, women's tennis.
So now I think she's hurt and nervous trying to close it out. Awful combination. Awful.
Break points for Sharapova after 2 straight doubles. Well, the ground strokes are not affected at all.
So hit a forehand for a first serve and get on to the point. Just quit the serving.
Oh, she's been arming it in quite nicely up until this game in this set.
That's why I think she's gotten now nervous. She's now out of sync with this new serve because of the abdominal strain. And so she's sort of yipping the serves now.
Break point.
Yeah.
Double fault. 3 double faults gives Sharapova the second break of serve. Yuri, her dad, applauding this.
You know, this outfit, she's calling it Country Club because it reminds, this serve is what you would see at the Country Club.
Agony on her face. Now for 4 in the third. And it must have been getting progressively worse in the set because she was serving not great and not hard, but better anyway. The first double falls that we saw were in that last serve game of Serena's. 15-love.
I think it hurt a little bit more psychologically because the score got tighter. And that isn't her natural motion. So all of a sudden you start thinking about it a little bit more. You do start to get nervous.
There's nothing worse than butterflies kicking you in an abdominal strain. Sharapova now looks in total control.
You got to give Sharapova a lot of credit to hang in there in this set. I mean, Serena was ripping the ball.
He was ripping it on everything other than the serve. That's exactly right. Serena's torment is her own physical health and the fact that Sharapova just doesn't miss. About 32 points away from the match for Sharapova.
Wow, now that was a nervous return of a 62-mile-an-hour serve.
Understandable, though. Trying to win her second biggest championship in her young career.
And in such awkward fashion.
Set match championship points for Maria Sharapova, the Wimbledon champ. Gets a hug. 6-2 in the second set for Sharapova, then down 4 games to love. Williams obviously badly injured, and Sharapova wins 6 in a row.
Well, credit to both players. Williams fought hard to keep playing after she injured her abdominal muscle in that second set. Sharapova to come back from 4-love in the third when Serena was just playing her best tennis. Besides the serve, she was just cracking the ball from forehand and backhand. Little Maria could do except hang in there, and that's what she did. Showed so much maturity in winning her second biggest tournament in her career.
She takes out Kuznetsova. She takes out Zvonareva. Both of them from Russia, also Miskin in the semifinals. She takes out Mauresmo of France, the number 2 player in the world. And then in this championship match, the former top player in the world, the dominating player of just Sharapova, and she has won the year-ending championships to cap this year off for her. She's at the set now with Pam and Mary Jo.
Well, thanks, Cliff. Maria, I mean, an extraordinary drama, awkward match at times, but how does it win to win the second biggest title of your career?
Oh my gosh, I'm still shaking. I can't believe it. So many things are going through my mind right now. You know, the way I just pulled it out and stuck in there. I mean, it's crazy.
How were you able to do it? I mean, you got down 4-love in the third. Serena was injured, but she was playing unbelievable tennis, and somehow you found a way to keep your composure.
It was very unreal. I mean, you know, all of a sudden I knew that, you know, she couldn't serve that big, but once she had the ball in play, I mean, she would just go for it, and, you know, the first 4 games she didn't miss anything, and maybe I slowed down the pace a little bit, you know, but I don't know, I just stuck in there and
Well, there was a crucial moment in the second set. You were already down a set. You were down 2-1 in a break, and then you went on a run through the rest of the whole second set. How did you just turn the match around in that couple of game period?
You know, to tell you the truth, at that point, I thought it was over. I don't know, for some reason, I was just a bit flat in the first set. I didn't feel like, you know, I was moving and, you know, just sort of sluggish. And I just broke her, and it went on from there.
How much confidence now does this give you going into 05? Wimbledon champ, season-ending championship. We saw you try new things during this tournament. You served and volleyed against Serena Williams. That was impressive.
And the drop shots.
And the drop shots. I know. It's been an amazing week, an amazing year. You know, I'm looking forward to my vacation right now. I've had a really long year. But, you know, I finished it off great, and I'm just so happy.
Well, congratulations. You move up to number 4 in the world.
Go on down there. They got a big ceremony waiting for you.
I can't wait.
Congratulations. We'll be back here at the Staples Center where the last match in women's tennis is completed with 17-year-old Maria Sharapova.
Is just 17 years old, and tennis has seen the birth of a new superstar. She has won Wimbledon and this year-ending championship. Let's go down to John Eriks, tournament director, for the presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Staples Center has an incredibly rich history of bringing together the best of the best. And this week, the WTA Tour Championships was no exception. At this time, it's a pleasure to introduce to you Tim Leiweke, president of AEG.
Thank you. First of all, I want to give a great thank you to the fans of Los Angeles for coming in record numbers. Congratulations on setting an attendance record, and thank you for supporting the WTA. Serena, what great courage, what great guts. Give her a round of applause. On behalf of AEG and Octagon and Porsche, it's not $1 million, but it's $500,000. Here's $500,000. Congratulations.
It's definitely not $1 million, but with the right investment, especially with AEG, it will be $1 million plus. And I do invest. I would like to thank my God, Jehovah, for allowing me to be out here today and perform. And the crowd was amazing all week. I really enjoyed playing in LA. I love LA. I'm from LA. I live down the street. I appreciate the support because I really didn't think I'd be able to continue in the third set, but you guys were clapping so much and I felt as if I owed it to you. So let's see here. I guess I should thank AEG, Porsche for sponsoring the event. It's been a great week. I wish my mom, my dad especially, because I have the worst attitude when I practice, and he's always so positive. So thank you, Daddy. I love you, Mom. And my trainer, Carrie, I never say thanks to her, so thank you, Carrie, for getting me through this week. She's the best, Carrie Brooks, Incorporated. And last but not least is Ms. Sharapova for a great match, a great win, a great tournament. $1 million, the whole nine. Congratulations, and I'll see you guys next year.
Serena, on behalf of AEG and Octagon, the 2004 runner-up trophy. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we had an ad campaign that started to run last week called Got Sharapova. Well, Los Angeles, you've got Maria Sharapova, our 2004 champion. Present, we're here with her check for $1 million, Larry Scott, CEO of the WTA Tour.
Thanks, John. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got several presentations for our winner tonight, but before getting to that, let me just thank AEG and Octagon for a fabulous job this week in promoting the WTA Tour Championships, and thanks to you crowds for coming out. It's been a great week for women's tennis. Now on to our champion. Few athletes have captured the imagination of the public the way Maria Sharapova did when she won Wimbledon at age 17 this year. Since then, she's gone on to win titles in Seoul, Tokyo, and with this week's win against the best of the best, she's risen to a career high of number 4 in the world. It's my honor tonight, especially in the presence of Billie Jean King, who founded the WTA Tour 31 years ago. Billie Jean had a dream, and her dream 31 years ago was that someday women athletes would be able to have the kind of opportunity that Maria and Serena have had tonight to play in front of a fabulous crowd like this. And it's my pleasure to present what represents the largest purse for a women athlete to our 2004 WTA Tour Championships winner, a check for $1 million to Maria Sharapova. Now I'd like to introduce the WTA Tour's main sponsor and the main sponsor of this championships, Tim Mahoney, Vice President of Marketing from Porsche North America.
Thank you, Larry. Porsche is proud to be associated with the WTA, and this year marks our 3rd year as presenting sponsor of the Tour Championships. And we're also happy to be able to present Maria with a new Porsche Cayenne, which she... I don't know. Which she can use for a worthy charity. Okay, so here you go, Maria. Here's the key and a small car. Unfortunately, we couldn't drive the actual one out onto the court, so thanks.
And now to present the 2004 Billie King Trophy, Billie Jean King.
This has been an amazing year for me. I don't know a better way to end it at the Staples Center. This has been an extraordinary experience for me. You know, I'm really speechless. I have a long speech, but I don't know if I'll be able to finish it. But first of all, I want to thank all of you for, first of all, the huge crowd. I mean, this is absolutely amazing. Your energy and vibe, you know, keeps all these players going for the last week on this year's tour. So, you know, if not for you, I don't think we'd be standing today. I want to thank, most importantly, my team over there, I don't know where they are, my dad, mainly Robert, Mark, Michael, Max, everybody for supporting me. Like I said, this is just amazing. I cannot believe it, and my heart just goes out to you all for all your support, and and to my mom that has been watching on TV with all her nerves. I'll see you in a few days, Mommy. Porsche first of all for the car. I want to mention that I'm donating this to the people that were victims in the school tragedy back home I wanted to put a little extra effort because, you know, obviously, I don't want to remind you, but it was really terrible what happened home. It touched a lot of people, and I'm so happy I could give back to them and help them in any ways I can. So my heart goes to all of you back home as well. And the WTA for holding up a great event, and all the people that have, you know, worked on my body, all the trainers, all the staff, and the supervisors. Thank you. And I really hope to defend my title next year and be back. Thank you so much for everything.
So to the Porsche shot of the day, and this week, Maria Sharapova with this $1 million swing. So the Wimbledon crown, which is owned by her, as Yuri makes his way to the court to congratulate her, she's now also got this year-ending championship, and we have seen the birth of a superstar. It's not a question, is it?
We sure have, and I think, Cliff, in the year of the Russian women tennis player, it's only fitting that the last match of the year on the women's tour, that the brightest young star of all from Russia, Maria Sharapova, will take home the $1 million. It was a great week.
It really was. It was a great match, despite the injury for Serena. A lot of credit for her competing to the end, till the match point. I think we're going to have a fabulous 2005, a lot of personalities, and this is going to be one of the rivalries, Serena Williams and Maria Sharapova.
Boy, I'll go along with that. I think that what you just said is exactly right. Women's tennis, in fact, all of tennis is going to have a fabulous 2005. You are warmly invited to stay with us because our tennis coverage continues. Up next with the ATP Masters Cup in Houston. Roger Federer, the world's top player, taking on the French Open champ Gaston Gaudio from the West Side Tennis Club. Then the United States taking on Spain in the Davis Cup final in Seville. Our coverage of that event begins December 3rd on ESPN at noon Eastern Time. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, please log on to ESPN.com. ESPN is your Grand Slam network. With Pam Shriver, Mary Jo Fernandez, I'm Cliff Drysdale, and from all our outstanding crew here in Los Angeles, congratulations again to Maria Sharapova, Wimbledon champion and year-ending tournament champion from Russia.